Now, the concept of evaluating their body language, evaluating their responses, their facial expressions, or just simply any statement, any information that they give you, is to help you understand how positive or negative they are. Now, what I want you to use a percentage. So it could be anywhere from 1 to 100. And I want you to use these percentages to evaluate how positive or negative. So when you're disclosing the information to the underwriter, I want you to keep in mind that your job is to evaluate and to choose a percentage. So for instance, if they're negative, and basically they're negative based on the remarks, the statements, the facial expressions, their body language, and you know for sure they're completely negative, then you're going to emphasize on them being a 20% positive, 80% negative. So at least the underwriter, your team leader, or your supervisor is going to understand that a conservative approach is going to be necessary. Now, if they're positive and they didn't give you any negatives or any signs of them not being satisfied, then you're most likely going to use 80 to 20. So 80% positive, 20% negative. So start using these percentages so at least it allows you to understand how negative or positive they are. Now, I have a rule. If they're 50-50, for instance, if they're giving you some negatives, but not too negative, or just some positive, some negatives, and you consider that they're 50-50, we're still going to shoot high. Because a 50-50% simply requires a little bit more attention, a little bit more information, more justifying, adding value, adding urgency, using closing tools, but it's still a potential. And most likely, we're still going to be able to close them on a decent BF. So once again, unless they're under 50%, we're still going to go aggressive on the option simply because the worst thing that's going to happen is we're going to offer a different option. We'll lower the option. We'll give them an alternative. We'll focus on the second, option 1, option 2. Worst case scenario, we'll give them a discount. But once again, make sure to start evaluating the body language, their gestures, their remarks, their statements, the information that they give you, and start choosing an approximate. It gives you a better idea of how positive or negative they are, simply because using an actual percentage is going to indicate how positive or how negative they are, and we're going to choose an approach based on the percentage.